Donald Trump had barely fixed his Florida resort after the FBI raid when he got hit by a legal storm in New York. Legal probes into Trump's financial crimes aren't new. Now, the Attorney General Letitia James had secured a deposition with the former president. What happened next is going to shock you. In this video, we're bringing you every detail about Trump's pleading of the Fifth in the historical deposition after the FBI raid. First up, why has Trump found his biggest enemy in Letitia James? If we had to list down everything Donald Trump hates, the top three things would be CNN, the FBI, and the Attorney General of New York, Letitia James. Don't get us wrong, before James's legal practice, her Democratic affiliation was annoying for the former president. Yet, it's her aggressive and iconic legal investigation of Trump Tower that drove the Republican candidate into the ground. So we've all seen how the FBI turned around Trump's Florida resort to slap him with a federal crime finally. The way agents stormed the house, you'd assume that okay, that's it. Maybe we're going to see the Republican behind bars. But hey, it'll take much more than a case of stolen papers from the White House to roll out your orange Trump in orange outfit meme finally. And maybe your time is coming sooner rather than later. Before we could say orange is the new white for the GOP, there's a civil case of financial crime under Donald's docket. Yup, remember the entire fiasco about misstating the property values to get tax breaks and loans? That hasn't gone away. Well, not yet. Here's the thing. If you're a former reality TV star and somehow you wake up as the president of the US one day, pretty sure you're loaded. Not to mention, when Trump was busy making deals with Russia for hacking the 2020 elections, his side hustle didn't stop. He kept on stocking properties, flushing tax reports down the toilet, redirecting money to offshore accounts and whatnot. Now it's time to face the music. Plus, who better than a Democratic favorite attorney general to prosecute a Republican case? Yup, this might be the ultimate karma for the 2016 elections loss for the Dems. And oh boy, Letitia James did spend her day making Donald Trump look very guilty of his crimes, and Mr. Ex-President pleading the Fifth Amendment in the historical deposition. After years of investigation, Letitia James was able to slam the former president for a grilling deposition in New York. All eyes were on the Attorney General's office because this case could decide if the Republican stays in the election race or quietly retires on a farm. And when was the last time a living ex-president was called for a deposition? Talk about making history for all the wrong reasons. Alright, even we would have thrown $1 to hear what he had to say about his golf courses and resorts, but that has to wait. Don't get us wrong, the grilling session did happen, and our sources say James really did a number on the undesirable number one. Everything was going according to plan until Mr. 45th President pulled the plug to utter 4 magical words. And nope, we aren't talking about the I withdraw from 2024 race. In a shocking turn of events, Trump decided to plead the Fifth. Wait, hold up. What? Cool. Protecting yourself from self-incrimination is every American's right. Can't really argue with that logic. But our reruns of every law show have taught us that if a man is banking on the Fifth Amendment, something shady's been going on. In the case of the infamous former president, his crime spree doesn't exactly scream innocence to us, especially when the man himself has spent his entire tenure shading every politician who has invoked the Fifth Amendment rights. Let's break this down, shall we? Next up, what's so important about Trump's deposition? Before Donald Trump found himself facing Letitia James, he was a huge fan of the whoever pleads the Fifth is guilty fandom. Now this has to be the most real karma is a moment for US politics in modern times. Pretty sure Fox News is busy scrapping all their hero statements on the Fifth Amendment to start their fake news bandwagon. And you thought you'd stop hearing the term fake news once and for all, but this is just the beginning. As of now, Trump's biggest battle is to fight whatever James and her team have on him. You won't find yourself in a deposition room because the lawyer on the opposite side wants to have a coffee sesh with you. If the former president pleads the Fifth, it only means one thing. The Attorney General has a pile of groundbreaking evidence to drag Trump Tower to a trial. Yup, it's high time for the scandalous politician to find himself the best closer in the country, or he'll soon find himself sipping on watered-down coffee in the New York courthouse. On the other side, the Republican fake news churning machine is back in business. As soon as the word of deposition went out, many GOP sympathizers started to call the historical investigation a political attack. No one is really surprised. Now, the man of the hour isn't on Twitter anymore, but he has found every tabloid in the country to tell us how innocent he is. Alright, we're just gonna say this. The entire fiasco is our personal edition of Groundhog Day, except that no one is having a good time. And hey, our 2016 US politics hell gets worse. Moving on, what are the horrifying deets of Letitia's investigation? There are far more similarities between Kylie Jenner and Donald Trump than you'll ever recognize. And we have receipts. Both thrive on reality TV clout. They love their private jets, and both falsified their financial statements to get the billionaire status in front of their names. Now, you didn't see that one coming, did you? Every time a Republican donates to Trump's MAGA campaign, you're adding more bank to his whopping $3 billion net worth. And that's not just his family money. Letitia James's investigations have revealed some sizzling debts. Not only did the former president get the pseudo-billionaire status, but he also took vacations from very cunning tax evasion money. You gotta appreciate a smartly crafted crime. For years, the staff of Trump Tower has been downplaying asset values to get insurance coverage, tax breaks, and other rich people benefits. And this guy really took a beef with Gen Z about increasing the minimum wage. Flexing your rich lifestyle isn't new for business moguls. Even then, he took things way too far when he listed his Manhattan penthouse for $200 million more than its actual value. No need to rewind because you heard that right. With these financial statements, the New York Attorney General has everything she needs to bring a criminal case to the 45th President of the US. This means one thing only: Donald Trump is back at spreading lies about anyone who crosses him. Time to unpack this messy case. Next up, what has Trump said about Letitia James? When the GOP leader accepted that he was soon going to be the hero of the financial crimes gang, he did the most Trumpiest thing ever. He accused Letitia James of racism. Not that it's important for the criminal proceedings, but the lawyer's African-American ethnicity is making the former president extremely angry. In a bizarre statement, he accused his opponent of attacking him unreasonably because she apparently hates white people. Remember when we compared this fiasco with the 2016 Groundhog Day? The return of reverse racism has to be our biggest defense. To top off his racism claims, the politician called James his political enemy who's conspiring to topple down his business empire. Okay, it's not new for the former president to make wild claims in front of the media. Yet, so far, the court hasn't found any merits in his arguments. If anything, his little maneuver with the Fifth Amendment has strengthened the Attorney General's case more than anything. Back in 2019, the lawyer had to slow down her efforts in slapping Trump with criminal proceedings. Now, thanks to the recent deposition, Letitia is back to her usual grind. Not to mention, she's also on to the former royalty children to make her case, and they were far easier to crack than the owner of the Trump Tower. Finally, Donald isn't the only Trump to get grilled. By the looks of it, Letitia James is throwing everything she has to put Donald Trump in an orange suit. She didn't leave any stone unturned when she called the former first children to some grueling line of questioning. Sure, the former president has repeatedly insisted that she had no case whatsoever, but Eric Trump's deposition tells us a drastically different story. After Alan Weisselberg, the financial chief of Trump Tower, pleaded not guilty in 2020, James took a different approach to the case. She called both Eric and Alan for a deposition before going for the main shark. The official court papers are mind-boggling. During the grilling, both of the defendants invoked their Fifth Amendment rights more than 500 times each. Yikes. It only makes us wonder how many times did Donald Trump utter the words, "I plead the Fifth." We're yet to see official court documents, but hey, this historical deposition is gonna turn into a legal avalanche for the GOP leader. It's only a matter of time. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think jail time is on the charts for Donald Trump? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.